probably super polite. Even when I met Logan Paul for the first time, I wasn't, and he wasn't. This was before like all the controversy and stuff like that. Just one of the nicest people.
Yeah.
I mean, I only met him once, but you can't get much from one meeting. But he just came up to me at a party, said, "Oh, I'm such a big fan of your videos from back in the day." I was like, "Oh, I like your Vines." I didn't know he was on YouTube at the time. But yeah, it was like around that era, and it was just like a normal conversation. And then when all this stuff started happening, I was like, "Oh, he messed up." Well, he's gonna get some PR for that. Made him bigger.
Yep.
And then just another ooh.
Yeah.
It just kept happening. But the thing is, it just made him bigger and bigger. So how can you really? It's positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Like in his head, obviously, it's like, well, yes, all this drama thing's making people say some bad things about me, but I'm also blowing up. So like, how can he?
I mean, it's all speculation.
Yeah.
But I think, when you're creating content like that without any kind of purpose,
Yeah.
when you're just doing it because you need to push the envelope, you'll get a lot of views, but you're not, I don't think you're really building a core sort of audience. And that's something that I feel like, you guys have done. I feel like that's something that Smosh has done. Like, our audience has always been like not very engaged, but I feel like, we've always had a sort of core, and you see those sort of channels that have just followed a certain trend, or they get locked into one sort of like format, and they just ride that thing all the way up. And then once the algorithm shifts and that trend is no longer good for the algorithm, the bottom falls out from under those people.
Mm-hmm. Except that the algorithm hasn't changed in a very long time.
It has. There are things in the algorithm that have changed.
I mean, they're still doing well. Oh, yeah, that's true. Actually, they're not what it was even last year, but they're still huge.
Yeah, I mean, there was recent stuff that picked them up a little bit again, but that they kind of, because they don't really stand for anything.
They nullify
they have
it
to,
a little bit, yeah.
They have to keep pushing the envelope. And I mean, I'll still say it, like, Logan Paul is extremely talented.
Yeah.
Like, I do think he's really a really talented guy. Mm-hmm. So I'm just really disappointed because after the Forest thing, I was like, this is his chance to completely reinvent himself.
Yeah.
And go down a new path, and it'll be really good. And he didn't do it. And I mean, he still obviously succeeded very well.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He could have took that other turn and kind of like reinvented himself.
Yeah.
Like, because it was such a big event. That's like your perfect opportunity to, I mean, look at any celebrity that goes through that stuff, There, people want that change. And then you can always change it up again later. But like the whole, it's very similar to that, like, at least how I see it, is like the whole Miley Cyrus situation. Is like, she was this very clean whatever girl, and then people are like, what the hell? She turned into this Miley, drug Miley, twerking Miley, and she's so out of character. People were just like super interested, but at the same time like hating on her. Like, this is not how you should be. She wanted a new audience there, but now that she's kind of reverted back to old Miley, it's like, oh, now I want to root for this girl because she's like, she's seeing her wrongs and like she's trying to be a better person, and she's dating that famous dude Hemsworth again. So it's like a very, I don't know, I think it's strategic.
Yeah, it's a really good career move.
I mean, I guess
before her, Christina Aguilera did it. I mean, we all remember the dirty era of Christina Aguilera. Come on, you guys remember it.
I mean, I'm trying to think if the people watching remember.
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
God, we're old now.
Yep.
But that was the thing. Like, Christina Aguilera started out with like Genie in a Bottle.
Yep.
Like, she was like this kind of like a little bit risque, but like still sort of wholesome, I think. I don't know. I wasn't like a big fan. But then she came out with Dirty, and she went like full blown like oh, I'm like this sexy like that. And like,
Every
as
celebrity
a freshman in high school when that came out, I was very stoked.
I mean, it just Britney Spears, same thing, right?
Yeah. And then they kind of had that sort of, with Christina, I feel, had that sort of like she matured, and then she was like back to, because she's an amazing singer, so she was able to just kind of like mature into this sort of like, I am now a woman,
right?
I'm a mature woman, and people loved it.
But it's the same trend. Every single look at Justin Bieber, same thing. This innocent little kid, right? Plays like a little cute kid that's like you want to support him. All the little girls love him. Goes through like this man phase. Like I'm the man. I'm gonna take off my shirt and then start get tattoos and stuff like that and look buff. Look buff. He got buffer.
Yeah.
And then now he's back into like, well, I'm going back to church and not that he didn't go to church, but he's putting on that. But I don't know. I think it's the same trend I've seen with celebrities, at least. It happens all the time, and that was Logan's chance to go through that phase, I think, and then he could always come back, which I think would happen. But
and I think it's just like it's because people see that as being human, that it's relatable. Like if someone is perfect and always perfect, it's like, wow, I love this person, but I can't relate to them. I would like to be this person. But when you see someone fail and then they succeed, that's a story that you can align yourself with and be like, if they can do it, if they can go through something way tougher than I went through, then that gives me hope.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought Logan was gonna sort of like go down the route of like raising awareness for suicide, like a little bit longer.
He did for a little bit.
He did one video.
One
right?
video.
He did one video, and then it was back to, as far as I remember, it was back to the crazy.
Yeah, he tased a dead rat or
something like that.
And I was like, wow, really? Like this soon, man?
Maybe. I mean, it could also be the people that he's around too. Who knows? I mean,
yeah. You gotta find good people to surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with yes men, people that'll just tell you.
They could also convince you that it's that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who? I mean,
we're gonna be called apologists now. Logan Paul apologists.
Logan apologists.
Apologers.
I like that.
He does have a podcast as well.
Yeah.
Impulsive.
Yeah. Now, is that something that either of you would ever consider going on?
Go on Logan Paul's podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know it well enough, but I saw clips on his Instagram of like doing some kind of crazy stuff where like some guy gets kicked in the balls, or they do some crazy stuff. It's like I don't know if I would want to do that, but if it were just to talk to him, I'd have no issues talking to anyone. To me, at least. I don't know about you. I know people might associate your brand, so it's like a little, but to me, I'm okay with talking to anyone.
Higa.